Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience and I am Patience. So in this video, we are talking about methods of paying down debt. So I've talked a lot about the importance of paying down debt in my videos, and I think that it is really important to show actually the different methods that you can use. But today we're focusing on two of the most popular methods of paying down debt. One is the snowball method, and the second one is the avalanche method. So what are they? Which one should you pick? Which one works? Whatever. Don't worry, we're going to discuss all of that. But before we get into the video, remember to like this video if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and let's get straight into it. Let's compare the snowball method versus the avalanche method. So starting with the snowball method, this method focuses on paying down the smallest debt first, and then minimum payments on everything else. So let's say you have 5 debts. You have a student loan debt, a credit card debt, personal loan debt, mortgage, and you have a personal loan. Let's say the smallest one is your credit card debt. So what you do is you attack the credit card debt with vengeance, and then you pay minimum payments on everything else. Once the credit card debt is paid off, which is the minimum payment, so whenever the minimum payment is done, you are going to throw that money to the next one. So let's say your second biggest debt is your personal loan debt. So you're gonna keep paying minimum on everything else: the student loan, the mortgage, and mortgage, you know, but I'm just using that as an example, and your auto loan, and you're going to attack the personal loan with all the extra money you have. That's how you do it. And then you keep doing it till you're done with the personal loan. Then let's say your next biggest loan is your auto loan. Then you do the exact same thing. You're paying minimum on your student loans and your mortgage, and then next you move to your student loans once you're done with the auto loan, and then you continue that, and then you move on to the next one. That's why it's called the snowball method, because once it's going, it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. So the idea behind this method is to create momentum. Like I said, the snowball is getting bigger, 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 and it's motivating to see you clear up all your other debts first. So once you're done with your credit card, you're like, wow, okay, 1 down, 4 more to go. Once you're done with the personal loan, you're like, okay, 2 down, 3 more to go. So you are getting more motivation from seeing the other debts paid down, and then you're building more momentum towards paying off the bigger ones. So even though the bigger debts are still accruing interest, if they are not zero interest debts, which most of the time, you know, these debts are not, even though it's still doing, you're getting quick wins, and then with that you're growing momentum, you're getting more focused on paying down these debts as quickly as possible. So that's the snowball method. Moving on to the next method, which is the avalanche method. So this one does not do the exact same thing that the snowball is. So let's say we have the exact same 5 debts. Now this time we're not focusing on the smallest to the largest. Instead, we are focusing on the one with the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. So you're starting with the most. This method is thinking about, do you want to save the most amount of money? Yes. So you're starting with the highest interest rate, and then you're going to pay it all the way down to the lowest one. All of this while making minimum payment. So let's take the exact same 5 examples. So let's say that your debt with the highest interest rate is the personal loan. Let's say it's like a 25% interest rate. The next one is your auto loan, which is say 18%, and your credit card debt is 15%. Student loans are like 10%, and your mortgage is at 5%. So this time you're not going to start attacking the credit card first, even though the credit card is the lowest. Instead, you start attacking that personal loan, and then you make minimum payments on everything else, and then once you down that, you save money and then you put it towards the next one, which would be your did you say auto loan? Okay, if it's auto loan, whichever one has the second largest interest rate. Regardless of which one is bigger and which one is smaller, you're focusing strictly on interest rates. So this method focuses on not just motivation, because your biggest debt might be the one with the highest interest rates. Instead, it focuses on saving the most amount of money. Avalanche method. So let's go to the main points of these methods. So both methods can be very effective, and they are when done properly. It just depends on the individual and your personal preference, and what do you need first. Are you the type of person that focuses way too much on the interest rate, or are you focusing on getting rid of the debt as quickly as possible? Do you need that motivation to keep up with that momentum? And a lot of people do. The snowball method can be very motivating because you're getting rid of a lot of debts first, so you're getting that quick validation that you're doing something. You can see your debts clearing up quicker if they're smaller and you're able to get to them as much as possible. But it could also be similar to the avalanche method. So for example, if your credit card is the smallest one, but your credit card has a 30% interest rate, but it's your smallest debt, then you can clear it off. It's still the snowball method, but it just happens to help with the avalanche as well. So they can or cross over. But the avalanche method, depending on how your debts are set up, can be quicker and save you more money, because since you're paying off the highest interest rates first, it's not accumulating as much as it otherwise would, so you're still going to be saving more money with the avalanche. But overall, it doesn't matter which method you use, it's better to make a plan and to stick with it. And that's where the problem comes in when paying off debt. A lot of people don't have a plan to do it, and they are very lax about it. They don't have the fire lit to get rid of it as quickly as possible. And even though they may have the momentum for 1 or 2 months, after a while they don't see that quick results as much, so then they fall behind and get back into their old habits. So it's better to make a plan and to stick to it, no matter which of these methods you choose. So which is best for you? A lot of experts have different ideas on what you should do, but here are some points as to helping you pick which method works best for you or will work best for you. So starting with the snowball method, this is especially for people who have a lot of small debts and they need that motivation to keep going. So if you need that motivation and you want to make sure that you're at least sticking to it and it'll be more successful, choose the snowball method. It gives you quick wins. You're able to clear out more debts quicker, grow the momentum, and go for your bigger debts. Even though you will not save as much money as the avalanche method, it gives you a sense of accomplishment starting early on. And that's really important when you have a huge amount of debt to clear off. And even if it's small amounts of debt, a lot of people need to know that you're doing something, feel a sense of accomplishment in order to continue the journey, because the journey can be long. For some people, it can be years of paying off debt, and the snowball method gives them accomplishments along the way. The avalanche method is very successful if you're very focused on saving money. So if you don't want to be paying extra and you don't need that sense of accomplishment along the way, the avalanche method could work for you. But in this method, remember that you don't get that sense of accomplishment, especially if your biggest debt has the highest interest rate. It's gonna take you a long period of time, sometimes months, years, to clear that off. And you need to be able to see beyond that big mountain onto the other debt. So there's an end to this debt mountain. So having that avalanche, using the avalanche method, you need to be able to use it correctly and keep yourself motivated. Even when you don't see the debts going down as much as possible, or you don't see them leaving as quickly as the snowball method, you need to keep that motivation within you, because it will take longer to see results. But ultimately, the most successful method is the one you stick to. So if you're doing snowball and you're not sticking to it, it's not going to be successful. If you use the avalanche method and you're not sticking to it, you're not going to be successful. It is important to be realistic with yourself and ask yourself, am I the type of person who will do better on the snowball method? Even if I'm going to lose slightly more money on interest, will I be better off doing the snowball method versus the avalanche method? And this is something I really want to hone in on towards this end, is that a lot of people feel like the avalanche method is going to save them money, which it will. They really think that it's going to be the best way mathematically. But remember that a lot of time when people are getting into debt, it's not about the math, because you knew that you were spending probably more money than your income could suffice for, because otherwise then you'll pay things in cash and you only buy things that you can afford. But a lot of us don't do that. You go and you buy stuff based on feeling. It's a behavioral problem. Personal finance is 80% behavior and 20% logical. So even though it makes logical sense to do the avalanche method, you may be one of those people who will benefit from the snowball method. In fact, research shows that people who do the snowball method are more likely to succeed and pay it off quicker than people who do the avalanche, which doesn't make sense, because because you're thinking, I'm saving on interest rates, I'm saving on it. But remember, it's not a math problem, it's a behavioral problem. So ultimately, no matter which method that you choose, it's about making a plan, changing behavior and changing patterns. So you're not adding more to the debt as you're paying it off. So think about it. Would you maybe lose an extra $1,000 or $2,000 using the snowball method? Maybe. But at least if it guarantees your success, are you willing to do that? That's something that you need to think about, because when you see people who use the avalanche method versus snowball method, again, yes, you're saving on the avalanche, but on the snowball method, you are more likely to succeed. And that's the reason why Dave Ramsey, who is a personal finance guru for over 30 years, he recommends the snowball method. Why? Because over his 30 years experience, he sees that people who use the snowball method are more successful at paying off their debts quicker. And regardless if you think that you're a very logical person, sit down and reflect, how did I get into this debt in the first place? A lot of us are not logical getting into debt. We're emotional. Whether you bought a car that you love because this is your dream car and now you have this huge mountain of car loan, whether you bought an overpriced, I don't know, college education because you went to your dream school and now have $200,000-$300,000 in student loan debt. It's a lot of emotions and not a lot of logical thinking. So sometimes you have to compromise to make sure that your success is guaranteed, or at least close to as guaranteed as possible. But again, ultimately, it's all about behavior. It's about the day-to-day action. And remember that when you're paying off debt, it's going to be a long journey. It could feel very lonely. You're going to have to cut out a lot of things. And go ahead and watch a lot of my budget videos if you haven't already, because I talk a lot about cutting down on items that would really help you free up that money to pay off debt if you're in this journey, because it can be long, it can be lonely, it can be not too much fun because you can't afford fun that you pay for. You know, you should be going to do free fun stuff like going to the park to take a walk, hanging out with friends. So I just doing activities that does not cost money. So the best thing that you can do is that choose a method that works for you and work it day in and day out. And when you reach that end, you're gonna feel the biggest sense of accomplishment. But with that, thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let me know in the comment section, which one do you think best fits you if you're in debt? Are you trying the avalanche method or are you trying the snowball method? Are you going to switch and try the other one? Well, you know, whatever you have to say about it, let me know in the comment section. I'll be reading your comments. So thank you for watching. Ring notification bell because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Come over because we have a great deal of things we talk about. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.